Alright guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while. Probably wondering what's going on. I've had a lot of stuff on social media here lately. Well, we'll go ahead and get started with this. As you know of, this is my 85 GMC S15, Sierra S15. Two-wheel drive, automatic. It originally started out, I bought this truck for $400 about a year ago. And, well, it had a 2.5 four-cylinder in it with a automatic transmission was good, engine was toast, it had a bad head gasket. I was gonna fix it. 90 horsepower, I wasn't seeing that, so ripped that motor and transmission out, sold them both, not knowing that transmission would fit bolt up to a 2.8. I sold it, and then turned around and bought this. As you guys know of, this is my 92 Chevy S10, two-wheel drive, 5-speed 2.8. My plans were I was going to take this engine out and the transmission, the 5-speed, and put it in here. But there's way too much work to transfer everything over as far as transmission-wise. You got to cut the floor out, you got to cut the firewall out, and you got to change the pedal assembly over. And that's a lot of work. I read somewhere you had to pull the dash out. Not 100% sure on that. I hadn't really looked into it. But something about pulling the dash out to get to the pedal assembly for the clutch. But without further ado, I just couldn't do that. So I was looking on Craigslist, and I found a 2.8 with an automatic trans. A guy was selling not far from here, about an hour or so. And I go and look at the truck, and it looks exactly like this one, except it was black and tan, had tan at the bottom, and black around the stuff. It had pinstripe and everything. It had the GMC front end. The guy wanted $250 for the trans. I go up there, look at it, test drive the truck and everything. The motor ran so good and sounded good and everything. I said, well, why not just go ahead and buy the engine too? Well, come to find out, I went ahead and did that. $350 later, I got engine, transmission, all accessories to make it run, power steering, alternator, everything, hoses, radiator, fan shroud, wiring harness, dual Flowmaster exhaust. I got these bed rails off of the other truck, and a few other things. But to get to the point, get it home, tear it down, I replaced the oil pump and oil pan and the fuel pump. I painted the engine. It's in here already. Just did little odd things to preventative maintenance. Now the oil pan and things like that, the reason that I put an oil pan on it was because the guy had smashed the oil pan in, and which internally smashed the oil pump pickup screen in, and luckily it didn't damage it. I did clean it, put it back in, put an oil pump on it, slapped it all back together, fuel pump, exhaust manifold gaskets, carburetor base gasket, and I cleaned the carburetor out, put a new fuel filter in it, air filter, and it's already got new hoses and things, and I think maybe somebody put a water pump on it at one time. It's not leaking. There's no leaks whatsoever, which is good. And right now it only has just water in it. I don't have coolant or nothing like that. This is mostly just a test. And I did put the exhaust on. It doesn't have a muffler, which I'm not really concerned with right now. The transmission is not in the truck yet. This was basically to put the engine in and to test it and see how good it ran and everything before I would have put the transmission back in the truck. Because the last thing I want to do is put everything together, drive it, and then something happens to the engine or just whatever else. But it sounds good, except for I've got a little bitty noise, and I'm thinking probably rod or main bearings is shot. It doesn't sound too good when it gets up to temperature. Cold, it gets about 60 psi of oil pressure, and when it drops down and gets up to temp, it's around 20 or so psi, which is still good, fairly good. But I'm not happy with the noise I hear. I put 20 W50 oil in it, And the reason for, just because the shavings and crap that I found in the pan when I changed them. So anyways, I'll go ahead and fire it up. Like I said, there's just straight water, there's no trans. It goes from the manifolds down to the white pipe, down to the cat, and that's pretty much it. So it is a little bit loud, but it's not that bad on camera. Interior hasn't changed much. Got some Chevy mats. I painted the dash. I don't know if that was done last time. Changed the whole steering wheel. Got a Chevy thing now. The horn works. I transferred the horn from that truck. That truck had some car horn. It's pretty loud when it works. Radio's in. The blower motor works. It does make a noise. I do have a hole down there because this had the 2.5. So it had a computer and everything. And there's a little tiny hole down there. So I'll have to get something and fill this hole up to keep from anything getting in. So, it's cold start. I don't have a gas pedal, so if I have to prime it, I'll have to go out there and prime it. The lights work. Temperature gauge works. Battery gauge works. Oil pressure doesn't. It didn't have the connector for it, so I just put a mechanical gauge in its place. And I'll probably go ahead and put a mechanical temperature gauge. I've already got one, just haven't hooked it up yet. Not sure where I'm gonna put that. Alright. Let's go ahead and prime it. It should be good. Fire that up. And it doesn't make the noise either until you rev the truck up. And you might hear a little bit of lifter noise. That's not the noises I'm talking about. I'm talking about a rattle noise. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit. When it's cold, it sounds good. Still makes the noise, however. Like a kitten. But like I said, the noise doesn't start until it gets really warmed up. Oil pressure drops a little bit. It's in the bottom end, I know for sure. But she runs, it's alive. After about 6 months of doing everything, I did swap front ends. You had to change the whole front clip, so I swapped them. I didn't like that style. It's okay, but I wanted the chrome look, so I went ahead and swapped the whole front end. Getting transmission lines, I'm waiting on those. The ones that are on it are kinked. You can see right there, there's one kink. Right there, it's been pinched. So that's not going to work. And somebody's already messed with it before. They got rubber hoses back there. So it needs to be all redone. I ordered new lines from AutoZone. You just have to bend them to the way your lines are bent. So that's going to be a hard part. Once I do that, transmission go in, change the fluid and filter in this. I've already done the front pump seal and the tail shaft seal, so it's ready to go in. It's just a matter of getting the lines, putting the baby in, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Cleaned it up really well. A little bit of steel wool and some brushes and some propel power, and this thing really came out. It looks like brand new. I'll probably paint this casing black just so it looks good. Did change the gauges. When I first got this truck, it had those idiot lights for your temperature and everything like that. It did have a gas gauge, but everything else was idiot lights, and as everybody knows, idiot lights, you can't really trust them until it's too late and too far gone. So I went ahead and I found these gauges at a junkyard, another S10. took those out, put them in here, and that's pretty much it. You don't have to rewire nothing or nothing like that. As long as you get the cluster with the gauges and everything, it all goes in. And I took my speedo cluster out of the other one and put it in this one so I'd have the same mileage. Wished I had a 6-digit odometer, only have 5, so that could be 131,000 or 231,000. There's no telling, but to guesses, honestly, I really think this thing only has 31,000 or at least maybe 131. I don't think it's any further than that. Heater core is not hooked up or anything like that. I don't have power steering hooked up yet. I gotta do that. And a few other things. I gotta put actual coolant in it and bleed the system out. I gotta hook up the heater core and a few other things. But you can hear that lifter knocking around. Alright, she's alive, ready to roll. That's about the only thing I've really done to it. There'll be way more updates coming up soon. Like I said, I got power steering to do, transmission to put in, a few other things. I'll definitely make a video when I first drive it. It hasn't been driven in about a year. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've gotten done. Also painted it Chevy orange, painted all the brackets and everything that goes to it. I don't have AC or nothing like that hooked up. I'll probably do that later on down the road. For right now, I don't really care about it. It's not a big issue or thing that I want. But yeah, more updates on the S10. It's alive, it runs, and hopefully soon we'll be driving. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the bottom. I'll try my best to get to them. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I know it's been a while. I'm trying to get more videos coming up. Sorry about that, guys. Just stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Have a great day or night, wherever you are. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.